first times interacting with IntelliJ and JavaFX, this video is to get you up and running with JavaFX. So what you're going to do, you're going to make a new project. Because if you try to do it in a current project where you're just doing sort of like lower level Java, it's not going to work. All right, so let's make a project. We'll call this, I don't know, JavaFX fun. JavaFX fun. Okay. So notice how you're not doing a new project. You're not doing an empty project. You're going to do JavaFX. Make sure that you choose that JavaFX toolkit. Okay. Now we go forward. Okay, I do no space. That's huge. Okay, so let's see what happens. Don't choose any of the additional libraries, especially because one of them doesn't necessarily work. And so don't choose them all. Don't choose any of them. Okay, so you get all this stuff. It's kind of interesting right away. You look in the source files. You'll see a couple of applications right here, a couple of files. So there's hello application and there's hello controller. Now, in order to unpack this, I've got some interesting things going on here. Well, let's just kind of talk this through real quick. You'll notice that there's these imports that just happened for free when we made the JavaFX file program with JavaFX files. You're going to end up having all of this code, this scene, all the way up to stage.show. You pretty much always will need that. But this uses an FXML loader. Use helloview.fxml. That's in your resources. And there is a controller here where you're sort of saying what to do when someone clicks a button. Okay, so let's just run this just to see what this looks like. Let's just see what it looks like. So this is the canned thing that just happens for free with JavaFX. Oh, hello. All right, so when you see something, you start playing with it. So you'll notice that the button says hello. If I click it, it says welcome to the JavaFX application. Notice the method on hello button click, it says welcome to JavaFX application. So we could change that to buttons make things dynamic. We're getting there. Okay, so let's run this again. So you'll see there is this welcome text. When the button is clicked, we're going to set the text to buttons make things dynamic. All right, so that's kind of cool. When we press that button, that's what happens. In the controller, in the application, we're just using that FXML, and this is just canned stuff. It sets the size. It's 320 by 240 pixels. It sets the title. We could say JavaFX messing around. I don't need to yell it though. Okay, so let's run it again, just to see that you can change things, that you can poke and prod and play with this. That's important. Okay, so now we do hello. It says button makes things dynamic, but notice that JavaFX messing around, that title is the stage. The stage is what you currently see. We're going to put the scene, which is our 320 by 240 FXML loaded scene. We're going to put that on the stage, and you have to make sure that you show the stage, otherwise you're going to see nothing. Let's just see that real quick. That could be devastating, by the way. But so it's nice, JavaFX just sets you up with all of this content right away. And here it is. Hello. Let's try that one more time. Oh, and we can't see it. So again, make sure that you show the stage. Otherwise, it's not going to be very interesting. So the controller handles the button click. There is this label. Notice the @FXML. If we go to helloview.fxml, which is the one that we load in the application using the FXML loader, you'll see all this sort of canned stuff here. We have the layout is a vertical box, meaning things are stacked on top of each other. We're importing a button. You'll notice the alignment of the vertical box is centered. Nothing really that interesting. We could change this welcome text. Let's see where that welcome text is in. So that's the label on the button. So let's say hello. Hello label. Let's just keep changing things slightly just to see what happens when we play with this. Okay, so now we have an error. Now, why do we have an error? Well, that label, what was its name earlier? Its label was welcome text. Where else is welcome text? It's this label right here. So those two things have to agree. Otherwise, you're going to get an error. So that's the label. That's its ID. Notice how you have FX:ID. That's because we're using JavaFX. So those names have to jive. Now we could say the text on the button, click me. And notice on action, there's hashtag on hello button click. That goes back to the controller when we click the button. We're setting the text of the label. So everything sort of fits together quite neatly. I don't love FXML, but it's important to see it. I'm going to do some demonstrations without FXML, but I at least want to show you that you can change things, what you can change, and sort of how it's going to look. So one extension for this would be, can you make multiple buttons? Can you make multiple labels? Can you make the label change from one thing to another? So maybe you have to have a counter or something. These are things that you have to think about just to get used to the interactivity. Okay? So you can set the title. You can set the text on button clicking. You can set the text on the button itself. So we can set the text on the stage at the top, on the button itself, and what happens when we click the button. So those are the major things that you can change right away out of the box. This is just a quick introduction to JavaFX. So we do click me. Buttons make things dynamic. So we could add a counter. So then maybe we have it say something different when we click it again. Maybe we have it do something different for every third click. It does something else. So you can code that up. So you sort of fold in all of your coding abilities with now this dynamic button pressing, label changing idea. So again, this is just an introduction.